Hi, Scott from Digital Fish with content that catches. I had a week-long trip planned in Doubtless Bay in the far north. We rolled into Monganui Sunday evening to hit the famous Monganui fish shop for some kai moana. Monganui itself is a fishy place. You can catch your dinner from the wharf or buy it at the shop just 2 minutes down the road. Good food and good views. Early the next morning we hit the Karikari Peninsula with a perfect weather forecast. As we drove offshore we passed a school of Kahawai Trevally with lots of birds, so we stopped for a quick topwater fish. I had a follow but nothing bit my stickbait, so we continued out to the 100-metre line to see if we could tempt a puka with a jig. I got a hit on my first drop and lift, but sadly it let go. On the very next drop a lightweight fish grabbed my lure and I had a scary looking frostfish on the side of the boat a few hundred winds later. Frostfish look related to the barracuda but with a few less worms. Maori fishing legend Jody Waka also scored a frostfish on his power jig S-grade rattling jig from Go Fish before something bigger jumped his lure a bit later. A brief fight ended with the fish stealing the jig. Looking at the bite and scuff marks, it was probably a shark. The sea had glassed over and was looking absolutely pristine, so the plan was to troll along the 100-metre line looking for an early season tuna. I would have been happy with an albacore, but it was probably going to be a skipjack tuna that jumped onto our lures. A disturbance in the distance turned out to be more Kahawai Trevally. They weren't being harassed by bigger predators, so we moved on. Trolling can be hard work, so it's cookie time about 10 AM and time to fly the splash drone for a look around. We were soaking up the surroundings and watching for signs of fish when we scared a young sunfish cruising on the surface. Turning for land, a pod of friendly dolphins stopped hunting flying fish to join us for a quick hello. As quickly as they arrived, they disappeared and we trolled back to land to anchor up along the Karikari Islands to catch some dinner. Jody proved his legendary status yet again with scoring the first snapper, a fat fish in good condition. I soon had a red friend on my hook as well. We were using strayline rigs in 20 metres of water and the top catch red plate pillies were doing all the damage. All afternoon the snapper were in a feeding frenzy. All the fish were fat and in excellent condition. There was nothing under 2 kilos and the bag was getting filled up very quickly. There must have been a lot of snapper cruising the current and surrounding area because it was just going off. Schools of Trevally and Kahawai swam around our boat. It was an amazing sight to behold. Jody and I had another double hookup. I could tell by the deep nodding in my rod that my fish was going to be a big one. My concentration was suddenly broken when I heard the expelling of water and air not far from the boat. A disturbance on the water signalled a pair of whales travelling less than 100 metres from where we were. It was all going on. We had a double hookup on snapper, one of them a double figure fish, and whales spouting in the distance. When they came up again, they were a bit difficult to ID, but were possibly a pair of brides or humpback whales cruising along. Back to my big snapper, and with some patience and a quick lift of the fish, I had a prime red moocher sitting on the side of the boat. We didn't have our limit, but the quality and quantity of fish meant I didn't have to keep a big fish like this. After some quick photos, he was returned back to breed and fight another day. We also headed home and pulled the engine into life. Bouncing down the coast, I spotted a shark's fin cutting the surface, and we cruised around for a closer look. Probably a small Mako, or maybe a hammerhead. It was cool to see one of nature's apex predators in the wild. We made it back and marvelled, all this action, and it was only day one. This is Scott from Digital Fish with content that catches.